Linda here, the scrapbooking photographer. Welcome to today's video where we join in the hop for the Iron Crafter. Now the Iron Crafter hop is run by Tara O'Rourke from the Paper Snob community. She is also on YouTube as the Paper Snob. And every month she sets us a challenge to use something from our stash that perhaps we don't use very often. This month the challenge is to use 6x6 paper pads. So I have chosen to use this pack of 6x6 papers that come from Stampin' Up. They are beautiful coordinated Christmas colours, and there are several sheets all the same, so plenty to do with what you want. And on the reverse side we have, whoops, that's not one, take out that backing, we have the different colours. So what I've decided to do is, given that they're 6x6, I'm going to start off with 4 on a white base page and build up from there. So I'll get to that in a moment. I'm teaming it up with the sticker page and some die cuts from the Reindeer Memories scrapbooking pack, and I'm using some real red paper. And this is the photo that I am documenting today. It's from last year. This is my son's dog and his girlfriend's dog, fiance's dog, Daisy and Riley. So they have been to see Santa last year, and this year they've been again, and I have it on good authority that there will be a new photo coming with an update this year. So I thought it was time to take this one off the fridge and put it into the album. And that real red from Stampin' Up is just perfect. I think what I'll do is get rid of the top bit about the mall. Don't really need that. And I think the photo was taken just before Daisy bolted. You can see Santa's got her lead there. Actually, he's got both leads. So let's get started. We'll start with a white base because we're trimming some of the papers down. This is all the cardstock I have of this real red. So I'm going to have to fiddle a bit to make sure I have enough. So I actually want to have a frame of the real red around the outside. I've got the white base page down there, but as you can see, there's just a little overlap here. So they're both not exactly 12 by 12, which is a little frustrating. So what I'm going to do is actually leave a little bit of white as well. I was trying to think of a contrasting colour that I could use with the royal red that I actually have. So this is perhaps just sending me a sign. So I'm going to cut a tiny little piece off the white to give us an outline of the white, and then I'm going to gut the back of this so I've got some more real red to play with. I did have to trim a little bit off the white as well to make it even. So this piece of real red could have been used as a complete background if I'd had enough to use for the accents, but I've chosen to take the middle out of it and attach it to the white just to give it a little bit more stability. I've chosen these 4 colours to use on the background, and I'm going to trim a little bit off them just to make them fit perfectly into the middle. So you can see that when I bring it up, because they're 6x6, they would fit ideally onto a 12 by 12, but because I'm bringing them in a little bit further, we're going to have to do some trimming in the middle. So you could leave it like that, but to me that's not even down the middle. I want the join right in the middle of the page. So what I've done is taken 1/2 inch off 2 sides, which will give us, I'll actually bring it in a little bit more because we're not leaving a frame on the inside. So long as we get the middle in the middle. So that's kind of what I was doing. Now you can see because they're not overlapping in the middle, that's why I need the white base. Right, so to help this blend, I'm just going to go around the outside with my dauber, and I'm going to use candy apple. So I only want to go around the two sides that are touching the red frame. And what this does is just help to blend these squares into the frame behind and gives it a little bit of an outline. So I'll go around and do the outsides of these and then come back when we're ready for the next step. So that gives it a little bit extra definition. Now, the photo is going to go in the middle. And remember, I'll trim it here, but I just want to get my measurements right before I cut anything else. So I've cut some squares out of the same papers, and these are 2" by 2" squares. Now, obviously I don't want like against like, so I'm going to mix them up a little bit. And I'm thinking that I'll go 3 along here and 3 at the top. And I'm just putting them on the top now to give me an idea. They're not going to stay on top. And you can see that I'll bring in some of the papers that we haven't used out of the same pack and just mix them up a little bit against the background. Now, if I make this photo a little smaller, let's see if we can get by with 2 on each side. So I've had a little play with the background, and the first thing we need to do is outline this with some real red. So I've got a piece of real red, and I'd quite like to cut this photo down, but I don't want to do that and then muck up what I want to do in the background. So I'll start with mounting this photo as a 4x6. I can always make it shorter, but I can't put it back if I cut it too soon. So we'll need the mat to get these measurements right, but I also want the colours there so that I don't get them in the wrong place. So if this is in the middle, we've got, I think I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, but anyway, that's going to come in here, and then that on that side, and that on that side. So if that's there, we want this one to come in 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. So we want it to go kind of like that. One, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. So it's going to be 4 high, 1, 2, 3, 4 high, 3 wide. Right, and that's going to work fine, I think. So now what we need to do is work out the colours, knowing that it's 4 squares high and 3 wide against this background. That's how we're going to do it. The next thing we can do is start sticking them down, keeping this where we wanted it so that we've just got that overlap on the grid lines. That way we know that it's all square. And then this one goes underneath in the middle. And then this one does the same on this side to even it up. And then we can just work our way around. thing we need to do is attach this to its mount, but we also need to go around the outside with the same ink that we did on the bigger one. So I'll just whip around here with the candy apple before I attach it. So this will just help to differentiate it a little bit again and blend all these different papers together a little bit more. Right, so not a huge amount of inking, but then we'll pop it onto the piece of leftover we've got, which is about the right height. So we'll make it the right height and then just trim the width to fit in. Okay, so we're going to stick these down as well. So we'll put the frame on first. I'll speed it up a little bit as I go through the final stages of putting this page together. You can see the back of this frame is a lighter red than the front. That's because this is the new two-sided cardstock from Stampin' Up, and it's also lighter, so it's great for the scrapbook, and layering it on top of the white cardstock doesn't add too much extra weight. So I've put these 4 pieces in. Once you get the first one right, the rest are going to sit nice and square. So that's a good background with a nice central cross in the middle. So we can line up this mounted photo of the dogs and Santa with the intersections coming in evenly on each side. And the sticker sheet and the die cut sheet from the Reindeer Memories pack coordinate really well with this. And I'm just going to use this little piece of red tab to put up top left and bottom right, and then the sticky green one from the sticker sheet to give it a little bit of an extra layer. So I'll put that behind, and I've ripped them both in half just to get a little bit more mileage out of them. I really like the way all the colours coordinate, but that's what happens when you use a kit or things from a same company, I suppose. Everything sort of coordinates. The trick we have is coming over from close to my heart is that the reds are different, and so the stamp pads aren't quite right. So it's a little bit of jiggery pokery to make things kind of work properly until everything's changed over. So we'll put the ho 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 sticker in there, and that will give us a nice little grouping of 3 on the top left and the bottom right. And then this note piece came from this die cut. I really like the trees, and I think they work well with the scene, but I haven't got anywhere to put the whole thing as a journaling box. So I'm going to trim the bottom off and use the trees as a base for a journaling strip and put these strips in behind it, and I'm using the opposite colours so that they sort of cross over. Then I'll use the strip of what's left to make the journaling lines. So while I'm putting that together, just remind you that this is a hop, and it's well worth watching all the other videos in the playlist. There will be loads of inspiration for your 6x6 paper pads, and the Iron Crafter hop runs every month, so if you'd like to join in and send a video through, we'd love to have you part of the team. And if you can leave some love on your way through by way of a like, a comment, or even a subscription if you haven't subscribed to the channel before, then all the creators greatly appreciate it. And it also shows YouTube what people are enjoying to watch. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd really appreciate that today. And as we put this journaling strip together, you can see that I have mounted the trees onto a piece of the red Christmas paper, and the white lines, the journaling lines, just happen to be the right width to fit nicely within the strip of paper on each side. Now that is a total fluke. You'd think it was planned, but it wasn't. It was just luck. Nice when happy accidents happen. The next thing I'm going to do is add the title. So I've gone away and used the Cuddle Bug to cut out the words Good Girls. I'll also, I think now that I've seen this page finished, I'll add the year at the bottom as well, but I haven't got that done at this stage. So I'll space these letters out in the real red along the top and go away and stick them down. And then I'll add a few little bits of bling, because with girls you need a little bit of bling and you can never have too much really. But I'll just pop a few little dots of the sparkles in a couple of different places, and then I'll go away and do the journaling. And that's the page just about finished. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed that video and get to see everybody else's inspiration. All the best for a happy Christmas for 2024 and happy crafting, everyone.